All right, YouTube people, y'all can come back in now because I'm back live. It's a separate YouTube stream, so this will be up in 2 separate videos on YouTube. One was kind of like a little prelim about the trademark stuff, and this one is the actual training. All right, my YouTube people are back up now, so that's good. All right, my YouTube people, they are back up. All right, let me go ahead and start sharing my screen. Make sure I'm still recording. Am I still recording? Yep, I'm still recording. All right, good. All right, we are back. All right, thank you, YouTube people, for coming back with us. We're back live. Appreciate you all coming back with us now. So let's go ahead and get back started where we were. Hold on here. Let me stop my share real quick and do this. Yeah, here we go. All right. Pull this back up. We should be back live now on YouTube. We got 2 separate streams. Yeah, there was the first one. There's the second one, part 2, and there we are right there. All right, so now we're back up with our live stream. All right, cool. All right. Let me stop my share real quick. All right. All right, thank you all for joining me. This is part 2 of the RBBS Logistics Learning Centers, part of our dispatch training series 5. And tonight we are going to go ahead and do the load boards and how do we get onto the load boards, how we access the load boards, how we use the load boards to find great pay and freight for our carriers. I want to thank you all for sitting with me through that first part where we talked about our trademark. If you want to, those of you who weren't in on it, go back and watch that video. You're going to find it very informative. You're going to find it's a great opportunity, and I've made it affordable for everyone. So just about everyone can take advantage of it now. So I would implore you all to take a serious hard look at that, because it has made great money for me, and it will make great money for all of us if we can go ahead and get everybody to go ahead and start getting their own RBBS Logistics Learning Centers and just start promoting your RBBS, because I've already established that brand. But right now, let's go into training. All right, thank you for all the people that have joined us live here on the live Zoom. Let me go ahead and start by sharing my screen. And tonight, we are on, move this out the way, get into my back office here. All right, here we go. All right, let's go ahead and get into our back office. For those of you who are on with us live on the Zoom live, all of my enrolled students, you can access your back office through this more section here. Under this more section, you can only get into the back office if you have a username and password. This is a password protected area. Only those subscription paying students are going to be able to access the back office tools and resources. All right, when you go into your back office tools and resources, and tonight we are doing load boards. So we're going to scroll down and onto the load board. If you are coming in to the training for the first time, you kind of caught us like on step 5, which is load acquisitions. So go back and watch these other videos right here in the series: compliance, locating carriers, the pitch, dispatch agreement, and then you'll be caught up with load acquisitions. Is where we are right now. All right. In finding carriers, in finding the load boards, you're going to scroll down here to this Rolodex. Now you notice here the load boards that we have 16 primary load boards that are in this Rolodex. Okay. Now you can actually get to another 91 load boards through here also too. There's an additional 90 load boards which can be accessed through here. 91 free load boards for truckers. So if you click on that, you can go in here and you should be able to access 91 other load boards by clicking on that link, and you can pull up all the other load boards. You just go in here, you pick a company. All these are private companies that have their own load boards. You pick a company, click on it, and then you just click search. Right down here, click search, and then it'll pull up their loads. That company only has one. That company has a few more. This company has more. So as you can see, you can go through here. There's a whole bunch of companies on here. This is how you get to your total of more than 100 load boards, because we do give you access to a lot of different companies that have loads. They have private loads too. But we are going to be concentrating on the main load boards that we access. And tonight we're going to go to one of our go-to load boards and show you all how to operate that. Now, these are some of our go-to load boards. Truckers Path.
Hey, Calvin.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's me or what, but you're buffering like we're not seeing your screen.
I'm not seeing the screen.
I'm not sure if I'm the only one.
Can everybody else see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
I can.
Yeah, Darren, that's you. That's your internet, man.
All right, have to reboot.
All right, that's your internet, man.
Need a break.
All right. Sorry, all right, man. All right. We have a step deck load board. We have a all different types of load boards, but the one that I like the best, and you all know, is my favorite, is direct freight. Okay, I have about 3 load boards. I only use really about 3 load boards. Okay, out of all the load boards we have, I only use about 3. Okay, and I don't have a problem with dispatching for my carriers. My company dispatches freight for 317 carriers every single week, and I do not have a problem with finding great paying freight on just these 3 load boards. Primarily, I found about 90% of all the freight that I dispatch out, all of my dedicated and stuff like that, are all done through the direct freight load board. Okay, and I'm gonna show y'all why that is. It's so easy to use, user friendly. Bike hauls, reverse searches, finding dedicated freight, looking for the freight that's paying the most money. All that stuff is available on your direct freight load board. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna say this again. Dispatching is a numbers game. Dispatching is about using your time efficiently and effectively. And what I mean by that is your time is money. Does everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Yes.
You do not have time to waste. Okay? Your time is extremely valuable in this business. You do not have time to waste. So with that being said, I'm going to give y'all some advice. I do not sign on box trucks. I do not contract with Sprinter vans. I do not do hot shots. Now, if you all got some friends and family who are Sprinter vans and box trucks and hot shots, that's all well and good, right? That's personal. But if you want to make money, hear me when I tell you this. Some of y'all are going to hear me, and some of y'all are going to think I'm just blowing smoke. And you're going to come to find out that you should have really heard me. If you want to make money, because this is what this business is about, I am here to train you all how to make money. So I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to find it extremely difficult, if not just about impossible, to make money dispatching for a Sprinter van or a box truck.
Very true.
Okay? I'm just telling you all the truth. Okay? It's almost just as difficult to dispatch for a hot shot, because the industry is not built to support box trucks, Sprinter vans, or even hot shots for that matter. The industry is built to support 4 types of carriers: dry van, which is pulled by a semi-truck; flatbed, which is pulled by a semi-truck; reefer, which is pulled by a semi-truck; and power only, which is a semi-truck. Okay? Anything that's not a semi-truck, I don't deal with it. I just don't. Okay? Because it takes too much time, takes way too much time to try and find them even decent paying freight.
True.
And that time you are wasting is costing you money. And it's going to frustrate the hell out of it, and it's going to run a lot of you right out of business. Now, I said what I said. If there are Sprinter van people out there, if there are box truck people out there, if there are flatbed people out, and hotshot people out there, hey, it's nothing personal. This is business. If you want to know how to make money on a sprinter van or a box truck, schedule a private consultation. I'll tell you how to make money. But it's not going to be through a dispatcher, because all you're going to do with a dispatcher is waste their time and tie them up from making money. And that's not fair. It's not fair. Okay? And I want y'all to understand that before you all run out there and start signing up all these box trucks and sprinter vans and hot shots, and then you're calling me up, asking me, Calvin, can you find me a little? No, I'm not going to look for no freight for you.
Mr. Calvin, I learned my lesson with box trucks.
I ain't lying now. I'm trying to spare y'all some heartache and some lost money and time. I'm trying to spare you. Okay? Hear me if you want to, but you really need to listen to me. Okay? All right. That's my service announcement. All right. All right. Now, on the load boards, you all would notice something about the load board. I'm going to stop my share real quick because I don't want this to get out. All right. On the load boards, what you all are going to notice is when you click on the load board, it's going to take you to an area, a holding space. Okay. It's going to take you to a holding space. And in that holding space, don't just go down and click where it says open link. Read what's in that holding space when you click on that little Rolodex, because that's where you're going to find your username and password to access your back office. To access your load board. It also tells you do not change any of the login information, because that constitutes identity theft. Now, for a long time, I was letting that slide. People were changing stuff, and I'm like, I had to go back in and contact the load board administrators. Had to get them to pull up to see who changed it by pulling up the IP address that was used that made the change. Then I would call the people up and say, hey, I've told you time and time again, don't change these load boards, because this is not just for you. I pay a lot of money to access these load boards for us as a group. I pay way more than the average person pays for these load boards. Okay? So if you are changing the logins, you are stealing my identity, because my money is coming off my card. They weren't changing the billing information. They weren't going to do that. It ain't changed the login information, but I'm still paying the bill for it. That's identity theft. Now, I started off by just warning a lot of people, but it kept happening over and over again. So then I started actually filing charges and prosecuting people. So I'm telling you right now, don't do it. Don't do it, because I don't have any more patience for it. And if you do it and it traced back to your IP address, you're going to get a knock on your door from your local sheriff's department. I promise you that. Identity theft is a felony, in case y'all didn't know it. Okay? That's a felony. Felonies are serious. Unless it's your first time, felonies come with a jail. They come with a sentence. Okay, time behind bars. Keep that in mind, y'all. Okay, this is serious business. This is serious stuff. So let's treat it as such. Okay, I know I joke around a lot, but this is a business. Okay, this is a very profitable business. Okay, and I need you all to act accordingly when you're on these load boards, when you're accessing the sensitive stuff that I'm giving you all access to. Does everybody understand that? Does everybody understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Let's go ahead and start by sharing my screen. Now remember, when you get on these, when you go to these Rolodexes and stuff, you're gonna click on. I'm gonna pick one here that doesn't need a password. I mean, find one that doesn't need a password, so I can kind of get y'all, show y'all what I'm talking about. Wow, I got so many. quick transfer solution. That don't be the password. All right. Here's one that doesn't do password. All right. See how it takes you to a holding space? On the ones that require you to put in a password to log into the load board, you're going to find the login information down here. Okay. This one does not require a login. Okay. But make sure you all don't just click on it, then go to link. Because you go to link, then you're going to be wondering, well, how do I log in? Then you're going to wind up calling me, Calvin, I need the password. Such. I'm going to tell you, I don't give my passwords. No. It's in your back office. Go back to your back office and find it. That's another thing. If you get a call from another student that asks you for login information, password information, what's the link to the live training, get into the live training, don't give out any of that stuff to anybody. I don't care if you know them personally and you know they're a student. Don't give it out. Because some students do not keep up on their monthly subscription payments. And when they do not keep up on their monthly subscription payments, we block their access. Everybody understand that? If a student, if they're in good standing, they have access to everything just like you have access to everything. So don't ever share any information about logins, passwords, how to get into the back office site. Don't share any of that information with anybody. All you are permitted to tell them is in your back office. And if they are in good standing, they can get into their back office. All right? So don't share anything when it comes to your back office stuff at all. Because we have a lot of people that come to our site that try to access our back office. Right, Darren? I mean, Darren see them every day.
Yes.
We have on average about 15, 20 people a day that are not enrolled students attempting to access the back office. They're popped up in our weeks all the time. That's how you all will get a lot of people to enroll once you get your own RBBS Distance Learning Center. Because you're going to get a lot of people trying to get into your back office. It's going to pop up on your phone. Then you know that you have a new visitor and they tried to access the back office. Well, you're going to go in there, you're going to click on it. You're going to put in the email address that I'm about to put into the Square account. You're going to see that they're not an enrolled student. Then you're going to send them the advertisement that I sent out to everybody. You have the same access to that ad stuff. You just click on it, pull it up, and you click send it to them. Bam. It lets them know. If you wish to access the back office site, you're going to have to enroll. It gives them a link on where they enroll and tells them what they get when they enroll. It's basically the same advertisement that you all saw. And that's how we get a lot of people sign up. Okay? You have that same capability. And we'll go over that in your training with your trademark once you all get that. All right. So this is how you get access to the load board. I'm going to go ahead and go directly to Direct Freight because I'm not going to go through here because I don't want people to see the password. But this is Direct Freight right here with the yellow strip, the 3 trucks right there on the interstate. If you put your cursor over it, it'll pull up and says Direct Freight Services. All right, but I'm going to go ahead and go directly to Direct Freight. And this is one of the go-to load boards that I love. I love Direct Freight. I love Direct Freight. Here's the reason why. All right, one of the first things you want to do when you get to Direct Freight, you'll notice that it has some stuff that says find load, load map, post trucks, view my trucks, recent searches, unmet alerts, and more services, whatever it may be. You got 2 areas of it. You got carriers and owner operators, or you can operate as a shipper or a broker. Most of the time, you're going to be operating as a carrier or owner operator because you're looking for loads. But we do have dual access. You can access this as a shipper or a broker with Direct Freight. If you click that, you notice this changes a little bit. Now it says find trucks, truck map, post loads, view my load. Now, as a dispatcher, you cannot post loads because you do not have the authority to take ownership of freight. That's only for a broker. So do not get caught trying to post loads as a dispatcher. That's illegal. Okay? You can't just post loads on a load board. You can't post loads on Facebook. You can't post loads on anywhere as a dispatcher. You can't pull up a whole bunch of good paying freight and go to Facebook and say, hey, I got a bunch of good paying freight. Any carrier want to sign my dispatch agreement? That's illegal. You are acting as a broker when you are doing that. In order to dispatch freight, you must first, above all else, have a carrier under contract You must have a pre-existing agreement with a carrier for a continued relationship to find said carrier suitable freight, persuading to said carriers specific criteria. That's how the statute is worded. CFR 37149.1. That's the statute that governs dispatchers and freight brokers. It explains the difference in it. It explains what you have to be as a dispatcher in order to legally dispatch freight. And then to legally dispatch freight, you must first have a carrier under contract. You're not even supposed to be on the load board without having a carrier under contract. Did y'all know that? If you didn't, you know it now. Okay? So, first things first, make them phone calls, get them carrier signed up, hit them with that pitch, get them signed up. Once you get a carrier signed up, then you are allowed to go to the load boards and find freight for that carrier and that carrier only. Or find freight for the carriers for every carrier you have under contract. You cannot go look for freight for carriers you do not have under contract yet. All right, that's dispatch. Freight brokers, another thing, because you have an authority, you have a bond, you have insurance, you can take ownership of freight. So therefore, you can post 1 million loads out there on the load board. You can put 1 million loads on Facebook. So I got a bunch of loads. Somebody better come get them. You can do that if you're a broker. Can't do that as a dispatcher. Okay, those are the differences. Those are the primary differences between brokers and dispatchers. Okay, dispatchers are paid by the carrier they have on a contract. Brokers get their money from the shipper side. All right, there you have it. All right. So in this area, if you're under the broker's shipper area, you can go and find trucks. Yes, you can do that. And you're going to do this by clicking on, I would do it by clicking on the truck map. But if you click on the truck map, it's going to tell you, it's going to give you in the states, it's going to tell you how many trucks have posted themselves available for load. This is what I call a soft close call. So if you're calling up somebody who has posted themselves available for a load, that means they are willing to work with somebody to find them freight, right? So it shouldn't be that hard to close these people, right? Get them signed up to your dispatch agreement. This is what you're going to use this load board for on this shipper broker side. Now, on the carrier, on the operator side, when you're looking for freight, which is what we're here to do tonight, you're going to go where it says load map. I always look at the load map first. Why do y'all think I look at the load map first? Anybody? Why do y'all think I look at the load map first?
To get a snapshot of what's going on.
There you go, boy. You use my terminology. You better watch some of my videos.
Yeah, I do.
All right, you get a snapshot of what's going on in your neck of the woods, or a snapshot of what's going on in the country as far as load availability. Okay, because if you've got several carriers, you want to be able to look at the map and say, okay, my carriers up here in the north, in the northwest, I'm gonna have to run them down south over here to the southern areas to get them some good paying freight. Because you can automatically see you only got 54 loads in North Dakota. You only got 144 loads in Montana. Only got 94 loads in Wyoming. You see what I'm saying? So obviously, you're gonna have to find places to run these people to in order to get them paid. So that gives you a snapshot and you get a quick view of where most of the loads are, so you'll know where you need to route people to or run people to or relocate people to make them some money. Trust me on this. This is one of the things that you all gonna have to learn how to master. You're gonna have to learn how to master having great communication with your carriers and getting them to understand that if they are in North Dakota, they cannot stay in North Dakota and make money. They gotta leave North Dakota. Okay? If they're up here in Washington State, there's a good chance that they're not gonna make very much money up there in Washington, Montana, North Dakota, Minnesota, Wyoming, these little areas around here. They're gonna have to come over here to Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, even Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois. They're gonna have to run in those areas. In California, they're gonna have to make some trips down those areas to make money consistently. Do y'all agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. So learn how to communicate with your carriers and let them know that you have their best interest at heart. And if they want to make money, because by being up here, they're gonna wind up running all over the country just to make $4,000 or $5,000 a week, and only gonna be home like every third week. When you could just run them on down here to Florida, find them a whole bunch of dedicated freight, short run loads. They run 3 loads a day, same 3 loads every day, be in the same spot every night, off every weekend, make themselves about $13,000, $14,000, and then they can do what? Park their truck and catch a plane home every weekend, or park their truck and rent a car to drive home every weekend instead of being home every third week and all over the country just to make $3,000 or $4,000, $5,000 a week. Y'all see the difference in that? And I'm gonna show y'all how that's possible. Okay, I'm gonna show y'all how that's possible. All right. So what you want to do is you want to find your area that has quite a bit of freight. First thing you want to do in the morning time. Now remember, this part of your job or your career or your business is going to be operating. This part is the operations that you're going to be doing between. I like to get up about 4:45 a.m. in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. That's what time I get up, and I get up. I call my carriers, the ones that don't have freight already. I usually make phone calls to them, or I send them a text. Hey, where you at? I'm in Louisiana. I'm in Arizona. I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm in Mississippi. I'm in Florida. I'm in Arkansas. I'm in wherever. Okay. All right, great. I'm gonna call you back about 5 minutes with some good paying freight. Right. So I send texts out to all my carriers, or I call them all up to see where they're at. The ones that don't have dedicated runs, the ones that don't have loads yet, I call them up, ask them where they're at. I already know what they're looking for. Why? Because I got a profile form already filled out. I got my carrier profile form. I already know what type of freight they want. I already know what kind of money they want. I already know that type of stuff. Okay, because I got my carrier profile form filled out. All the conversation I need to have with them in the morning is where you at. That's all the conversation I need to have with them at that point. Where you at? They tell me where they're at. Now I got a good feed for where my carriers are and what states they're in. Then by going and looking at the snapshot of the country, I can tell if they're in Texas, I'm gonna have a pretty good day because I can find them some loads right now in Texas. Right? Now remember, this is 8, almost 9 o'clock at night. I guarantee you 4:45 in the morning, this load board is gonna be all these gonna be packed with loads. We're gonna have a whole bunch of loads on here that you're not seeing now. Texas will probably have close to 7,000 loads in the morning time. Alabama will have about 4,000 or 5,000. Florida will even have about 2,800, almost 3,000 loads, and so on and so on. Okay, so you're gonna have a lot more freight on here early in the mornings. All right, but let's say I got someone that says that I'm in Texas. All right, if they're in Texas, I go ahead and click on Texas. I know Texas got a lot of freight. If they tell me where I'm a dry van, we're going to click my dry van trailer. Right, they're a dry van. I'm gonna go and click that, and I'm gonna go ahead and do my search. Now, what am I looking for? Now, on your load board, the way it's laid out, they're gonna have the age, how long that load has been on the load board. This is kind of important, in case y'all didn't know it. Why is the age, the time that the load's been on the load board, why is that important, people? Anybody? Can you tell me why that would be important?
To let you know how long the load been on the board.
Yeah, but why is that important? What significance is that to you?
You could probably negotiate better the longer it's on there.
Boy, this guy been paying attention. He been paying attention. You're on point, man. You're on point. This is a tool that can be leveraged with the brokers to negotiate a higher price. Because if something's been on the load board for a long time, that means they're anxious to move it, right? Right?
Yeah.
It needs to move, man. It's got to move. It's got to move. Obviously, it's not moving at the price that they have on there. If it's been on there for more than 4, 5 hours, 3 hours, or whatever the case may be. Now, before you do that, though, I like to look at this just to see what the average time for the load boards is, the loads on the load board. But then I immediately go over to here. I don't look at really trip miles. I don't look at origin. I don't look at any of that stuff. I go way over here and I look at estimated rate per mile. Now, some people might want to go to the pay rate because they're saying that, well, I want to go for the load that's paying the most money. But the most money is not always the most profitable load. Is that right?
True.
You're not looking for the most money, you're looking for the most profit. And in order to get the most profit, you're gonna look for what? Rate per mile. So you're gonna click that. Because if you click pay rate, yeah, they give you the load that's got the most money on it, but 2,022 miles, that's not really a good paying freight. That's only $2.35 per mile. Even though it's a high number, $4,750, right? But that's not very good profit. It's only $2.35 a mile. And with fuel being the way it is now, that's not a load that I would be eager to take right off the bat. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna click estimated rate per mile. Because when you do that, then you get into the profits. Look at this, $25 a mile, $15 a mile, $11 a mile. And they're usually short runs, which means you can run more additional freight that day and wind up making more money, spending less fuel, right? Doesn't that equal more profits?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Short runs, high rate per mile, less fuel, money spent on fuel, less wear and tear on your truck equals more take-home money at the end of the day. Remember that. Remember that. Don't be one of these dispatchers that get caught up on the pay rate. If you're just looking at the pay rate, you're gonna have some broke carriers. I'm telling you that now. If you're just looking at pay rate, you're gonna have some broke carriers. You have to go by the estimated rate per mile. Okay, that's what you want to go by. All right, because if you got these loads down here like this right here, y'all see this right here, 154 miles. What's so attractive about this load, y'all? Right here. Signal, Texas to Mount Pleasant, Texas. What's so attractive about that load? Can anybody tell me what's so attractive about that load? From looking at this load board, from analyzing this load board, what's so attractive about this load? Right now, this is one of the most attractive loads on the load board. Why is that?
Because of the details that it gives you.
Well, not just that, but look at it. Look at the details and analyze this load.
Also the rates.
Okay. And what else?
The distance is going.
Okay, and what else? Y'all are overlooking something. All right.
Oh, I got it. It's been on the load board for 10 hours.
No, that too,
No.
but what else?
It could be dedicated routes because they're consistent
There you go.
Oh, all right.
There you
all
go.
right, I see it.
several times on the load board. So for the 714, 713, and 712, that could be a dedicated lane.
It is a dedicated lane. It's running today, tomorrow, and the next day. Then it's going to pick up after the weekend. I guarantee it runs every day of the week. Okay, now you have an opportunity to set up a dedicated lane for your carrier that only goes 154 miles. It's Texas to Texas. It's a dry van that pays $550. So if you set him up on that dedicated lane, that's $550 he's going to make every day. But don't you have time to find you another load to run that same day?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You're already over halfway to $1,000 a day. So if you click on this load right here, that's running out on the 13th, on the 12th, which would be next week, right? It runs out on the 12th. If you click on that load, you click the 12th on that one, and you see that that bad boy is a van load, 42,500 pounds, $550, and it's been on load board for a while. So it means you can probably negotiate the rate up, right?
Yes, that's true.
Now y'all learning, boy. Y'all paying attention. So you got that right there. You think you can negotiate the rate up. I'd try to get an extra $150, $200 on that if it was me. Now, never go somewhere without having a way to go out or go somewhere else. Right?
Right.
So you're going to do what's called a reverse search. This is why I like direct freight. See how it pulls up a reverse search in a corresponding screen? So now you got the old load and you got the reverse search right there beside it. So now you can go right here and you can kind of do your analysis here. Now, you're not necessarily trying to go back to Sawgrass, Texas. That's not what you're necessarily trying to do. You're trying to find another load that you can run that same day that's leaving from somewhere close to Mount Pleasant that would allow you to make some more money and still get back to Sawgrass, Texas in time enough for the next day to pick up what? All over again. Because you want to run that dedicated, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Mr. Kevin, that's the Fort Worth, Texas area. I used to live in Saginaw.
Oh, there you go then.
So you could search, the DFW, Dallas Fort Worth area, which is huge.
Exactly. Now, what we're gonna do here, first of all, we're gonna do the 25-mile radius because we want something that's close. We're gonna put in van, and then we're gonna do our search to see what's in, and just to see what's within a 25-mile radius. We got some stuff, so we're gonna hit this right here, rate per mile, and immediately we get some stuff that's pulling up Mount Pleasant, which is 0 miles. You can pick up right there, and that's another dedicated. It's going to Missouri, so it's taking kind of out your way, right? And I would not take that because you're not going to be able to get back to and be ready to pick that load up on tomorrow, right?
True.
All right, so even though this is a dedicated, the 460 some odd mile dedicated, paying $1,000. That's not bad for a dry van. $2.24 a mile. That's not bad, but I would not necessarily grab that one. Okay, I would try to find something that has a little bit shorter mileage. So what I'm going to do is this: I'm going to do 50 miles out from what was I trying to get? Hold up, no, let's do this right here. Leave that at 25. Let's take the 50 miles out and let's do another search and see what pops up. All right. Looks like we got some more stuff, and we got some stuff that's got some a little bit decent on trip miles. Okay. All right. So you got some stuff that's a little bit more decent on trip miles. All right. So you got this one that's 296 miles on the run, but it's a 49-mile deadhead. Remember the one you had before was what? 154 miles. So you got 154 miles plus 296 plus 49. Now the bad thing is taking you further out away from that dedicated. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna look for what was that dedicated coming from? So Saginaw. Okay. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna come here, you're gonna put in Saginaw. Put in Saginaw, and you're gonna see if you can find something that's within 50 miles of Mount Pleasant that's going within 25 miles like the Saginaw. Nothing. So you're gonna go 50-50. Still nothing. You're gonna change this right here. Let's say that right there. Let's do that. Right now, I'm playing with the numbers to see if I can find something. Let's say 25 and let's say 75. Let's say 100. Still nothing. Nothing's going back to Saginaw. All right. Let's say 50 and then 100. Don't look like nothing's going back to Saginaw. I'm just trying to see what's out there. All right.
That's the Dallas, Texas area. So, yeah, I was just about
Yeah,
to.
but that's why I'm putting in the mileage so it would encompass Dallas and some of the other stuff
Yeah.
too. I mean, I could put in Dallas, Texas. You can put in Dallas if you want to, and see if that's gonna, you know, let me say within 25 miles, go back to 25. Then so you're still gonna get the same, results, but you're not gonna, because that's why you put in those the radius. So
The dead mouse.
yeah, so it will encompass that, and it will account for that being the Dallas area or whatever. So
Okay.
you're gonna have to go. Oh, all right, you're gonna have to go 100 miles to get a load that's taking you towards Dallas. It's a deadhead of 109 miles just to get you to Dallas, and it doesn't have a rate there. But that's when you would use your this. This is the instance when you would use your lane rate calculator. Okay, just to show y'all where your lane rate calculator is. In a case like this, when you run across a case where you don't have a whole lot of loads going back in the loads you are looking at, it doesn't show the rate. You're gonna go and you're gonna pull up your lane rate calculator. Your lane rate calculator is gonna be up here in the tools and resources, and it's gonna be this bad boy that looks like, there it is right there. Big calculator on the back of a truck. All right, you're gonna click on it. Hold on here. Move this out the way. Pull up your lane rate calculator. All right. This is our lane rate calculator. We know it's a dry van, and we know you're going from, this load is going from Mesquite, Texas to Dallas, Texas. So you're gonna come over here with the lane rate calculator. You're gonna put in, the pickup is Mesquite, Texas to Dallas. And you're gonna click dry van, and then you're going to click get rates. And it is going to pull up the low, mid, and high range rate. Okay. Now, these are all the loads that ran within the last 60 to 90 days that ran that exact same route with a dry van. And it calculates, it pulls up what all those loads paid, and then it extrapolates and gives you the averages. It gives you what the average load rate was on the low end, it gives you the medium range rate, and it gives you the high rate. On the low, it was around $364. Okay. On the medium, it was around $450. On the high, $586, close to $600. Okay. So that's how you're gonna do, that's how you know, and you use this for your negotiations on the rate. So if that broker comes, yeah, I got that load's paying $290, he lowballing, right? I mean, he lowballing. It's paying $375. He's still lowballing. If he says anything that's less than this $450, that's a lowball. Because I'm trying to get him up to where? Around $600, right? Because that's where the high rate was. The highest rates on average paid that on that lane, right? So if he's quoting you anything down here, he's lowballing. So this gives you a tool so that you will kind of be armed, so to speak, for your negotiations. Does everybody know how to use this now? This lane rate calculator.
Yes,
All right.
I do.
All right, that's what you want to use to arm yourself when you start your negotiation with brokers, especially if they don't have a rate posted. All right. Well, it looks like this is not going to be a good load for us because well, at least not tonight, because here it is Thursday night, Friday, one of the Friday. You're really not gonna find a whole lot of loads on here this time of the night anyway. So, but this is not gonna be a good load for us. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back and we're gonna, okay, this is a good dedicated, but a dedicated is only good if you can find a load leaving from the spot you're going to, right?
Right.
All right, so that's not a good dedicated. It's decent money, but it's not a good dedicated because of the area it's taking you into. You got to be able to find something coming back to get back to your money load. And you're not really finding that right now. So that's not going to be a great load, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to keep on searching. We're going to keep on searching. All right. Now, you don't necessarily have to find dedicators all the time. I mean, you really don't. What I like to look for is kind of like short to medium range load. I don't like the long range loads. I just don't. Because it takes you, if it takes you more than a day to get there, you got to drive more than 2 days, you're wasting time. Right? I mean,
Yes, that's true.
yeah, that's what you're doing. You're wasting time. Like, now this might not be so bad, 400 miles, but chance of you being able to get back to here to get that load for the next day, it's not going to happen. Why? Because the most a truck driver can drive, you all got to know this too. As a dispatcher, you got to know what's the most a truck driver, a semi-truck, can drive in a driving shift. Okay? Truck only gets 5.56 miles to the gallon. The average truck is governed at 65 miles an hour, right? With the weight and everything. That means the truck is only going to be able, on average, a truck driver is only going to drive about between 450 and 500 miles. If a truck driver is good, if they keep their door closed and they good and they stay in that truck and drive, and they only stop for the half-hour break, then you can get 600, 650 miles in a driving shift, but that's about it. You ain't gonna get no more than that. So if you got a load that's going 1,100 miles or 1,300 miles, that's gonna take you what? 2 days, right?
Right.
And if it's taking you 2 days and the money is not really adding up, it's a waste of time, right?
Yes, and a lot of fuel.
A lot of fuel, exactly. So try to stay away from loads like that. When you look for loads for your carriers, okay? Like you see them on it, that looks great, okay, paying $1,000, but it's gonna take you 2 days to get there. So that's really not that good of a load. That's what, $500 a day. It's not that great of a load. All right. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna keep searching, and look, you're not gonna have a whole lot to choose from this time of the night. If I do trip miles, do it again and get the shortest trip miles first. Did y'all see what I did to get the shortest trip miles?
Yes.
You click on it, then it's gonna show you the most trip miles. Then you click on it again, they're gonna show you going from the other way, the shortest trip miles, and then going up. All right. So what you want to do is you want to look for the shortest trip mile, and here's this Dallas, Texas to Farmers Branch. Now I know it's not showing a rate, but that's a dedicated, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's a dedicated. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and pick the first day that bad boy runs, which is today. We're gonna click on it, and we're gonna see if we can do a reverse search and see if we can find something that kind of gets us back out of there. And then we'll look at doing what? After that, we will look at what? We'll look at seeing what the lanes are and seeing what we can negotiate for that. But first, we want to know if we can get back out of there. All right, right off bat, I'm looking positive because you got a lot of loads that taking you back towards where? Dallas, right? You got this one right here. You go 8 miles. It'll take you right back to pretty much right there in Dallas, which is Carlton, Texas, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, those are some great miles.
Yeah. So here's one that's going 12 miles. It's paying $350. Go 12 miles, deadhead, and then 14 miles back to Dallas. It's paying $350. Okay. trying to find. Now here's a dedicated. You go 12 miles to pick it up, and then you. Oh, that's the same one, ain't it? Hold up here. Yeah, Farmers Branch. That's the same one. I mean, it's short. I mean, you can with this, you can literally just run back to Farmers Branch. It's 12 miles, man. You can turn around and deadhead back to Farmers Branch and pick up another load. You see what I'm saying? You can literally do that. You know, if that's what you want to do. But you got these loads right here. That's Farmers Branch to Dallas. So you can go, 8 miles to Carlton and get a load. 0 miles is Carlton to Carlton. And you have to check to see what that's going to pay, what the lane pays for that. But I'm not sure what that would be. Is there weight? Yeah, it's got weight on it, so it is a load. It's not an empty trailer move. But let's just say you wanted to go back to Dallas and grab something else and just run that back and forth, back and forth. You got enough loads on here that you can do that. But let's just see what else we got. Let's just say if I went 50 miles back within 50 miles of Dallas. Now I got some stuff. I can go 19 miles to Grand Prairie and then run 30 miles to Keller, which is going to be within 50 miles of Dallas. Within 50 miles of Dallas. And that one is paying $350, which is $11.67 per mile. And you also got this right here, that same one from Dallas to Richardson. You go 12 miles back to Dallas, then you're gonna go 14 miles to Richardson. That's $350. Now we don't know what this load here pays yet, because we gotta check the see what it pays, to see what the lane pays, and then we'll determine if we can set this up or not. I'm trying to see if there's a dedicated on here real quick. This Dallas to Farmer, that's a dedicated. We know that. We're trying to find something that goes with that. Dallas to Richardson, Dallas to Selburne. All right, but those leave on the same day. That means that load run multiple loads per day. It's not necessarily a dedicated, and it's not leaving on the 7th. Looks like the only thing that we have that's leaving on the 7th, you got this Dallas to Dallas load. You got this Dallas Grand Prairie to Keller load. So we know that one pays $350, and it's not a long mile run, so you can run both those in the same day. All right, so we got that one. That's $350 right there. What's the time on that? Hold on. How long has that load been on the load board? 10 hours. So you can negotiate that rate up. All right, been there for 10 hours, so you can definitely negotiate that rate up. All right, so you got that one. Now let's find out what this load here pays, which was what? Dallas to Farmers Branch, right? So again, you're gonna go to your what? Your rate calculator. Your lane rate calculator. You're gonna go Dallas to Farmers Branch. And still drive in. You're gonna do search for rates. Hold on. Let me redo this. It's not pulling up. Refresh it. There we go. Dallas to Farmers Branch. And just drive in. There we go. Now, all right. On the low end, it's paying $364. The high end is paying $587. About the same as the other one. So now you got. I would try to get this up closer to this $587, because it's been on the low board for quite a while. You can probably get it up to around that. So I would say I'm gonna go ahead and go with the $587, $500, $587. So here you got $587 here. And then over here you got, and I think you could probably get him up to about $450. maybe 500. So if you figure 587, 500, right? You got a total of what? You got 587 plus 500 is what you're going for. So you're looking at $1,000 that's made, and he's only went what? A total miles of what? Check these miles out now. He's only went 30 miles here. And what was his dead head? Hold on. I'm sorry. It's out of here. All right, on here, his dead head was 19 miles. So you got $1,000 some odd dollars already made, and he's only traveled 30 plus 19 plus over here he went Dallas to Farmers. Come on, let me get out of the way.
12.
Dallas to Farmers, he went 12 miles. So 30 plus 19 plus 12. You only go 61 miles. You done made 1,000. You made over 1,000 miles already. You still got time to run a whole lot more freight.
I wish I would have known what I knew now, Mr. Calvin. I was an Amazon driver and I drove for the box truck for Tom Thumb. I wish I would have known what I know now.
Look. There is a skill to analyzing load boards. There's a skill to it. Now, it's not glamorous, no. Because we're sitting here, at night, and we're doing this at night. I guarantee you come on here at 4, 5, 6, 8, and 6 a.m. in the morning, you have a whole bunch of more freight to choose from, a whole bunch of more good paying freight, more dedicated loads, and stuff like that. We're doing this at this time of the night on a Thursday night, so it's kind of difficult. But even at this time of the night, you see how you're able to piece together loads that's going to pay your carrier good money.
Very true.
Okay, so when I hear people say, "Well, ain't no good paying freight," that's because they don't know how to analyze a load board.
Mm-hmm.
There's more to dispatching than just picking the highest paying freight. There is. If you're going to be successful, you're going to have to develop this skill. Darren, you still here? You want to jump in on this real quick?
Okay, what was the question?
I know you're busy. I was asking you if you want to jump in on this about this more to load boards and just picking the highest, just finding the highest paying freight.
You said finding the highest paying freight?
Yeah, there's more to a load board analysis than just finding the highest paying freight.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Because and you run across it all the time. You see a load 7,000. Oh man, that looked good. But when you really check it, it's 3,000 something miles.
Yeah. So you got to know how to evaluate and analyze the load board. Okay.
Right.
Look, that's the difference between you having a day of making your carriers, $500 a day, making your carrier $2,500 a day. Okay. There's a difference between getting your carrier set up on some dedicated and having them running 5 days a week, same loads every day, and bringing home $1,500 to $2,000 a day, and you running your carrier all over the country just to make half that. Do y'all see that?
Yes.
Okay. So learn how to analyze on the load board. Look at, and remember, use your lane rate calculator. Always go by the rate per mile versus what? The highest paying rate.
Highest paying rate, right.
So you got a 14-mile run from Dallas to Richardson, and this paying $350, that's $25 a mile. And you ain't spent no fuel money, hardly. You see what I'm saying?
Right. You also see loads that paying $2,000 and you have to deliver the load in 2 days. You can see a load paying $1,500. You can deliver that load the next day.
Yeah.
And pick up another load.
Exactly.
Make your carrier more money that way.
Yeah. I mean, you got to look at that type of stuff. You got this 1,100-mile run, and you say, yeah, okay, well, $3,000, but is that really a good load? It's gonna take you 2 days to run that load. Right?
Hey, Mr. Calvin, I got a question.
Yeah.
Should we use the Ascend TMS for stuff we are like for the rates that we already see? Like I seen that it was one that was $25 per mile just to get more money, or is that just being greedy at that point?
I think you asked your own question, man. I mean, you can always try and get more money, but if somebody's paying that kind of money, I mean, come on. I mean, let's be real. I mean, you can always try to get more money, but me personally, when I see rates like that and it's paying great money, I just go with it. To be honest with you, I'll be honest with you. I go with it because most of the time my carrier profile form has told me they wanted, $3, $4, $5 a mile. Well, I got them a rate that's paying $25 a mile.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You understand what I'm saying? Because you can try to push it, but then you wind up doing what? And sometimes you might offend that broker.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
And he may tell you, you know what? Don't worry about it. I got somebody who'll take it. Bye. Hang up on you. Then you done missed out on that $25 mile.
Yeah, you don't want to ruin the relationship.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So, but use that lane rate calculator though. Use that. Okay. And plus, that's not really going a whole bunch of miles, so it's not like you waste a lot of fuel. No wear and tear on the truck. The quick run. Make the $350 and go ahead and find them something else. Right away that you can run them from there, and run them somewhere else. It's a quick run. Take that out if you want to run them. Not Florida, but just want to run them just somewhere. Do the van. See what else is leaving out of that area. Like
Hey,
this
Calvin.
right here. Yeah.
Another thing, what some broker do, they'll call you and you call them, and you see where the load is going, and they ask you, how much do you want to run the load?
Yeah.
I always mess with broker like that because sometimes I even ask for some ridiculous price, but I laugh about it. And that stuff you have to know how to, you have to know how to play with these brokers sometimes. Cause
You got to know how to use tact.
Right.
You got to know how to use tact. You got to know how to, develop good communication skills, man. Don't be so straight up business all the time.
Right.
You got to, because remember, these are people you're going to be talking to on a regular basis.
Right.
So if you can build a relationship with brokers, and if the brokers know that you are always looking for dedicated freight for your carriers, what happens when a broker get a load that he has to find a different driver for it every day? What is he gonna do? He's gonna call you up and say, hey, Darren likes to find his dedicated freight. He probably got somebody that can run this load every day. I ain't gotta worry about trying to get this load picked up every day.
It'd be your new best friend, basically.
Exactly. Exactly. You want to develop that type of relationship, and you want to let brokers know what your skill set is, what you specialize in. Hey, I tell my carriers that within the first 90 days, the first 3 months, I'm going to try and get them set up on some dedicated. So if you got anything that runs every day of the week, that's paying decent money, that will have them those short runs, that will have them back, at a decent time, let me know about it. Brokers love that because they hate having to get up every morning and find freight for the same load every day.
Very true.
Okay? But if you let them know that you're that type of dispatcher that encourages your carriers to run dedicated freight, then hey, they're gonna always have you on the tip of their tongue when they run across stuff like that. All right, look. You all have seen how to use load boards and how to, look for dedicated freight, and stuff like that. We're gonna call it quits for the night because we're getting up here closer to 10 o'clock. You know, but I ran over a little because I ran over on the first part of this. But look, I think you all have got an idea that it's more to finding good freight than just going and looking at the highest paying freight. Okay, so you all have enough skill right now to effectively evaluate a load board and analyze a load board. If you need more examples of this, a good series for y'all to go watch is this. This is a good series for y'all to go watch. Go pull up my series on the load board report. I have a series called the load board report. Go to my channel, RBBS, Unleashed Learning Centers, hit playlists, right? You got these playlists over here. Okay, you got different playlists. How to identify and create create your own high paying dedicated freight. Okay, that's got 7 videos like that talks about how to find dedicated freight. Okay, another good thing that you all want to go and watch, you want to go to watch this load board report. You want to watch that series, 19 videos in that series. I'm going to start back up with the load board report. I don't do this every month. I'll do it for about 2 months. Then I'll take about 3 months off. Then I come back and do it for about 2 more months. And I'll take another month or 2 off. Okay. But the load board report, I usually come on every weekday morning, 6 a.m. And I literally go on and have people to call me up live on the phone, brokers, not brokers, owner operators and dispatchers, or they go on YouTube and they tell me where they got a carrier or where they're at and they need a load for this and that. And I find loads for them live on YouTube and give it away. I don't charge for it, I just give it away. And I usually show them how to. I've done this and turned a lot of people on to some dedicated freight free of charge. And I do that on a load board report because then people get to see how it actually works live at the time of the morning when it needs to be working at the exact same time that you all will be on the load board. So you get a good understanding of how this really works in real time. Y'all understand why I do that from time to time?
Yes.
So watch this series. Go and watch this video series. Here's one, a couple on here where on Low Bird Report Live, this episode on 17, I found a 300K to 700K plus a year dedicated lanes. And I gave away free on the Low Board Report.
Wow.
Here's one on the Low Board Report, $774,800 a year drive-in dedicated lane in Florida, and I gave it away on the Low Board Report. Just gave it away. Because when you're doing that live, you never know what you're going to come across. So when I'm doing it live like that, right, you're getting to see how this actually works. And there's no better training than that. Even though it's not training, it's still for you all to go and watch that and see that happen live or to tune into that live, on occasions. Hey, you can't get any better than that, right?
True.
Okay. And you may be on there one day and you got a carrier that needs some load, and I may just find him something that's paying $700,000 a year, which is going to pay you what? If you're charging 10%, and if that was your carrier,
74,800.
Yes. For one carrier, I made a dispatcher a lot of money, whoever the dispatcher was off of that carrier. Because if you call in one, you got a carrier that needs a load, and I find you some dedicated, and I put you on those dedicateds, right? I turn you onto that type of dedicated. That's going to pay you a lot of money if you're charging 10%. Right?
True. Correct.
So, catch me when I'm doing those load board reports. At the very least, go back and watch these load board reports that I've done and recorded. Okay. By the way, it's stuff like this is what drives people to our platform, y'all. So when you all get your own RBBS Logistics Learning Center, you're gonna have access to all this stuff. You're gonna have, since I'm still doing all the training, I'm still gonna be doing the load board reports. I'm still gonna be doing all this stuff that I'm doing now, as far as training wise and stuff that I do training wise, because I love training. I love it. I just don't want to do the business side no more. All right. All right, look, that's gonna do it for tonight. I hope y'all learned a lot. Hope y'all got a lot out of it.
Always.
I always enjoy, coming here and spending time with you all, and doing my thing and helping you all to do your thing. So I want to give a shout out to my YouTube people who came on tonight and stuck around with me. I know we here kind of late tonight, so shout out to y'all. I want to thank y'all here on the and here in the studio. I appreciate y'all. Look, I would encourage you all to take a hard look at our trademark opportunity. Go take a look at that trademark opportunity. I got it all over, Facebook, and if you go to your mydispatcher.org or go to our regular website, our regular vocational school website, you all will see the links and stuff there too, where you can click on it and kind of review that material that shows you the breakdown of how this opportunity works and what it can do for you. I would encourage y'all to go take a look at it, even if you start out at the entry level and then you work, and then as you get into it and you start marketing your RBBS, you start making money, and then when you make some money, you can upgrade. Okay, so even if you're starting out at the lower level, that's fine. And don't forget, you can reach out to people and you all can partner up. So if you want a higher level, say, two people get together, come up with $5,000 each, that's come in at the $10,000 level and keep 95% of, everything you earn, or three of y'all get together or whatever the case may be. Work it out to how it's best for you. But I'm telling you, having ownership of something is where you're going to make you real money. Okay? Just remember that. Having ownership of something is where you're going to make you real money. I mean, I had a franchise type thing going. I had a referral, an affiliate thing, but that really wasn't paying people a lot of money. It really wasn't. And I really need to relieve myself of the business side because it's starting to wear me down, and I can't grow the business the way I want to by myself. So it makes sense for me to give up that side of it, give up most of a majority of the money, become an employee of my own company, and do it that way. Because hopefully, there's a lot of you on here that I know would make great trainers. I know there's a lot of you on here that can do that. You're gonna have some phenomenal YouTube channels. Okay, I know you will. I can tell by the way your leadership is, the conversations that I've had with you, outside of the training. I know that there's a lot of you all here who would make great YouTube influencers, YouTube trainers, and mentors, and you all have what it takes. Okay. And this opportunity would give you all a chance to share in ownership. Therefore, you share into the real making of the money. Because once you set up your YouTube channel, that's a whole separate income all by itself. That's all yours. And as you all have seen, it is good money. Okay, why do you think you have all these YouTube influencers out here? Do y'all know that there's a 9-year-old or 12? I think he's about 12 or 13 now. He makes about $20 million a year on YouTube. Little kid he be doing toy reviews. Did y'all know that?
Yeah, my son liked to watch him. Ryan.
Yeah, he does toy. This kid is making almost $20 million a year, man.
Yeah, he making that money.
Yes, because he done hit that though. Once you hit 1 million subscribers, that's when you're the real money. And by us creating a whole bunch of RBBS listeners on the YouTube channels, right? That's going to help us to increase our what? Subscribership for the entire network of RBBS. So if we mess around and hit that, one day hit that million subscriber mark, that's going to mean a lot of money for all of us that's doing the YouTube thing. Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. I mean, just at the level where I'm at now, it's still great money. So look, YouTube is something you need to think about if you're doing this. And the way we got it set up, we made it easy for you. The brand is already created. You're gonna get subscribers because it's gonna bleed over from what I've already established. So this should be a no-brainer. All right, that's gonna do it. I appreciate y'all. I thank you all very much. I gotta go take me a shower and wash my hair. I've been having this dandruff problem lately, so that's why I've been shaving my head a lot. I've been having a problem with dandruff. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that's all about, but I got this dandruff shampoo, and I try to shampoo at least once a day, every night, even though I ain't got no hair on my head. But look, I'll see you all. What's the day? Thursday. I'll see some of you all on Saturday for the Brokers Hour. I'll be here Saturday, 10:15 a.m. until about 11:45, 12 o'clock. So if y'all want to join in on the broker training, you all are more than welcome to come back and join in on the broker training on Saturday at 10:15. But until then, I'll see you all next week or next Thursday. And hopefully we'll get some of you all in on the trademarks, and we'll go ahead and schedule our trademark owners training so we can get you all set up with your Square accounts and get your social media accounts set up and get your toll-free numbers and your domain email addresses, and showing you all how to market those YouTube videos and how to create your Square stores and get you all on the track to promoting and just making money. All right, y'all. Thank you all. I appreciate y'all. See y'all next time. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
See you next week.
Good night, everybody.